Most of you who have been following my videos know that my mom died back in 2023. I inherited her property, then spent the rest of that year and parts of 2024 downsizing. In 2025, I started making the house more functional to my lifestyle. I probably planned the sequence of the remodel backasswards, but by the time everything was finished, it all worked out. First, nearly the entire house had red oak flooring under wall-to-wall carpeting. Starting in May, I tore out all the carpet, padding, and tack strips. Then I called a floor refinisher. Back in the late 70s, my dad installed false beams in the living and dining rooms. In these last couple of years, they started making more popping noises than usual. I was keeping an eye on them, thinking that sooner or later something would happen that would force me to take them down. Right after the floors were finished, in the middle of the night, I heard a loud crack that sprang me out of bed. I grabbed a flashlight and shined it on a sagging beam that had one side pulled a full inch off the ceiling. The next morning, I started sawing down all the beams. 3 14-foot runs and 2 24-foot runs. Here's a picture of one of the several supports that had split over the years. These other pictures show the patching I had to do. Finally, here's the living room finished with new paint. This brought me to the middle of June, and it was my contractor's turn to come in to update the kitchen and bump out a mudroom into the garage. When this was delivered, I knew things were getting real. The plan was for new flooring, countertop, lights, replace the dishwasher and the trash compactor with new cabinets, new sink and faucet, new stove hood, backsplash tile, remove the small top cabinets over the stove and over the fridge, and carve out a 66 square foot mudroom from garage space, where the clothes dryer, freezer, and storage cabinets would live inside the house instead of out in the garage. The contractor's first gig was to test the walls for lead paint and the 2 layers of flooring for asbestos. The walls tested out good. The original linoleum tested out good. But thank you, Armstrong, your laminate hit positive for asbestos. All the bottom cabinets had to be moved out anyway, so they were piled into the living room. Then my kitchen became a cordoned-off war zone for 48 hours. A day of ripping out and a day of ventilating during the testing for residual asbestos fibers. After the county inspection, I had an asbestos-free, clean slate. Here's one of my contractor's guys fixing the subfloor, and the new flooring went in to match the flooring throughout the rest of the house. The floor cabinets went back in, then countertops, plumbing, new fridge surround, rough-in for the stove hood, and the backsplash. At the same time, the mudroom was framed in. A new smaller window and an exterior siding that replaced a large picture window, sheetrock, and a new louvered door between the kitchen and the mudroom. The planned space for the freezer was abandoned because some of the electrical could not be moved without a ton of added expense to bring the entire run to code. For want of just 3 to 4 inches, it left a squeeze for the louvered door that also affected the fit of the new countertop and the old soffit. It joins other bits of pre-existing wabi-sabi throughout the house. Old, new. Old, new. Old, new. Wrapping it up, I also had to get new window blinds, ceiling lights, rugs, and furniture for the living room and dining rooms. The fireplace hasn't been used for 30 years and is nothing but a cold sink in the winter, so I made a quilt to cover it. Aesthetically, I think the house will always be somewhat of a work in process, but for now, it's pretty much the way I want it. That's how I spent my summer, guys. By the time everything was finished, it was getting into October. Now we're into the new year, and I'm working on getting into shape for the 2026 season of backpacking, hiking, and fishing. See you when I get out there.